Welcome home to my kitchen. In tonight's episode, we are going to be making basil chicken tortellini. This is a very quick, easy recipe I often save for busy nights when we have youth group or American Heritage or any place that we're all rushing off to. This is a go-to quick meal. It's also an excellent summer meal because it uses fresh basil. So minimal ingredients. We just need some chicken breast chopped up into bite-sized pieces and cheese-filled tortellini. For our creamy sauce, we're just simply going to mix sour cream and season it with some salt, oregano, hot cayenne pepper, and lots of fresh basil leaves. Once we mix the cream sauce with the tortellini, we will top it with walnuts. So let's get to it. Our first step is to heat some olive oil in a skillet so that we can saute our chicken. And I think my oil is heated through. So I'm cooking 4 pounds because I'm gonna serve, I don't know, about 10 people. You can adjust if you have a smaller family. You can hear that sizzling, so you know it's nice and hot. While the chicken is sauteing, I have my pot of water also on a hot burner because we're going to want to boil that for our tortellini. So while these two things are cooking, let's make our sauce. So I have 3 cups of sour cream, again, for a family of 10 to 12. Kind of a lot if you're only a family of 4. And I'm just going to empty the whole carton. And you can use low fat, non-fat. This has all the fat. It's regular sour cream. And I'm just gonna put a teaspoon and a half of salt. And I want 3 whole teaspoons of dried oregano. If you're using fresh oregano, I don't know, probably 1/4 cup, but I'm using dried. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. So cayenne pepper is potent. The recipe, if you were to follow it to a T, would call for 3/4 of a teaspoon. That is entirely too much for my family. I have made it that way, and their lips, you know, their upper lip was like sweating and their mouth was on fire, and the little kids were just like, Mom. So I've scaled it way back. And I'm just going to do a little under a 1/2 teaspoon. So kind of between like, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna play it safe tonight because it's better to add more later than to be too hot. So I'm just doing 1/4 teaspoon, and that will still offer enough of a kick. So I've got the salt, the oregano in with the sour cream. I'm just gonna mix that up. Whew, it's hot today, summer day. I'm sweating in here. Okay, and now it's time for our basil. Basil is my favorite herb, and I think in my experience it's like the least polarizing herb. You know, you have an herb like, say, cilantro. People either love cilantro or they hate cilantro. Same thing with rosemary. My husband does not like rosemary. I love it. But basil, I don't know, I have found everyone to love basil. It's got a little tiny spice to it, a little peppery to it, but not overwhelming at all. It's not gonna burn your tongue, even if you have a ton of basil. There's different types of basil too, and actually, normally I grow my own basil. I did not this year, so this is store-bought, but basil is an annual. It's the one herb that does not come back every year. You have to plant it new every single year. And that's kind of a bummer. I have a lot of peppermint in my garden, and that stuff, I can neglect it and not take care of it all year long, and it just comes back and comes back and comes back. Basil is not like that. I have to buy new plants every year. But there are different types of basil. I have a friend who grows lemon basil. And just as the name implies, it's got a citrusy lemon taste to it. I've used Thai basil in recipes, and it looks different. This is just regular Italian basil, and it's got like a flat leaf to it. Thai basil is feathered. It looks like feathers. And you use it in, surprise, Thai recipes. And it's got a little stronger peppermint, not peppermint, just pepper, spicy flavor to it. But this is just mild Italian basil. And so we're gonna just chop this all up, all these leaves. I'm sure you could eat the stems, but I chop the stems off just for texture purposes, and just do the leaves instead. So yeah, we'll come back when this is all chopped up. All of our basil is chopped, as you can see. So we're just going to mix that up into our sour cream, oregano, salt mixture. Our water has come to a rolling boil, so I'm ready to add the tortellini. Again, one package would be plenty for a family of 4, but we're a family of 12-ish, so I'm adding 3 packages. There we go. So how do you know when tortellini is done? Same thing with ravioli. When they're done cooking, they'll simply all float to the top. So right now you can see they're all submerged, sitting on the bottom. And as they start cooking one by one, they'll start rising to the top. And when all of them are floating, then we know it's done. All right, our chicken is also done. So we're gonna turn the heat off. And we're actually gonna remove our chicken from the heat because we do not want the sour cream mixture to turn watery. And so if I leave it on the heat, that's what will happen. I want this to stay kind of thick and creamy. So it's off the heat. We're just gonna add this to our chicken mixture. Yummy yum. Get every last drop. Let's just mix it up. All right. That is done, and I'm just gonna top it with some walnut pieces. Totally optional. If you do not like nuts, then you can leave this out. But I like the extra crunch and kind of smoky flavor, earthy flavor of walnuts. So that's it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on the burner. It's off, but it will keep my sauce warm, and we'll just wait another 3 to 5 minutes for our tortellini to be done, and then we will have a meal. Okay, so as you can see, our tortellini is done. They've all floated to the top and they're ready to drain. So that's what we're gonna do. And after we drain them, we're going to add some sauce. All right, it's time to serve up dinner. I am headed out the door tonight for my monthly ladies bunko, so I feel great about getting dinner on the table for Brian and the kids. Let's add some creamy sauce to the top. And there we go. And now, it's your turn. Welcome home to my kitchen. In tonight's episode, we are going to be making chicken. What am I making? What am I making? What is this called?